Okay, welcome back to the Recycled Cottage and Garden. I know it's been a little while, but I am going to be making a few videos in the next few days here. There's a lot going on in the world today. I am not panicking, there's no point to that. However, let me take these off. I have been stocking up more than normal on some stuff that I was short on in the pantry. Specifically, some fruit and some basically ready to eat kind of stuff. Um, if for some reason we have a power outage, I did pick up like SpaghettiOs with meatballs and some raviolis and corned beef hash, some stuff like that. This is not stuff I normally eat, but it is shelf stable and it is perfectly safe to open it up and eat it cold if that's your only option. Now, don't know what our government's powers will do to make sure that we all keep the power on. They so far they're not doing anything to keep the gas prices from rising. They've gone up 15 cents a gallon overnight here, and who knows where it'll go. That's concerning because I was planning a trip from Colorado to Texas and then back again for May. We'll see how that goes. As long as the price of gas and a hotel room for halfway through isn't too high, I will go. But it all depends what's going on in the world and what kind of idiotic decisions the powers that be in Washington do. I'm going to run with this video because it's pretty short. Hopefully, it's not going to glitch on you like it seems to be doing for me here. Again, I'm still using the Chromebook. It's all I have. Right now, it's all I can afford. I can't afford to go buy anything different. Okay. I just got through watching several videos on canning butter. Now, I have said I don't can dairy. I have not in the past. However, I've got about 20 pounds of butter sitting in my freezer. And I need to get as much out of my freezer and into a shelf stable jar as possible. So, coming up soon, you will be seeing me canning butter. It may only be a partial video. I'm going to put a link in the information box below to probably the best video I found that was thorough for canning butter. One of the ladies that I watched, which is Cat's Cradle, and that's cats with a Z, and it's spelled a little weird, but that was an old 10-year old video. And one of the things that she discussed was the possibility of botulism and who she got her information from on that subject. I would agree with her. Botulism is an earth-borne, soil-borne bacteria. When you're canning butter or milk for that matter, I'm not going that route because I just don't use that much milk, and it's usually just for baking something. And I've got plenty of powdered milk I can mix up. That works for me. But the milk and the cream that they make butter out of is already pasteurized, which means there's no bacteria or anything else in it. So, to take the butter and melt it, put it in jars, and pressure can it, there would be even less chance of there being botulism in it. And the only way it would get in there is if you didn't have everything you were working with, jars, lids, utensils, hands, whatever, needs to be thoroughly clean. And I think all of us that can do that. We keep everything very, very clean. It's important. You don't want to get sick. So I will be attempting canning butter. I will need to buy some more butter that is unsalted. Normally I buy salted. I've only got 2 pounds that's unsalted, and it is suggested by several different people that I watch their videos to at least mix it half and half. If not all unsalted, go at least half and half. Otherwise, it can be grainy. Still good to use, but it will be grainy and maybe taste too salty. Might be great for cooking, and I use a lot of mine for cooking. If I want to saute something, fry something, heat vegetables up in the microwave, butter goes on it. That's just what I use the most of. I have olive oil. That's my second most used fat. But for the most part, I use butter. I just like it, and it's good for you, despite what, you know, the government health people might say. Who, who cares what they say? I go with what works. And it's already been proven that all of the fats, if they're good fats like butter, protein fats like off of your meat, those are good for, and olive oil, those are all good for you. They are not the bad cholesterol, and they're not your enemy. And I will tell you this now, yeah, I still need to lose a lot of weight, and it's been a rough time since I moved from Texas to Colorado. Um, and I'm still trying to get myself straightened out and get back to doing the keto diet, which is what works for me. Something else may work for you, but that's what works for me. And part of the theory of the keto diet, and it's not new, it has been around since the turn of the last century, okay, the early 1900s, and was used to treat many different diseases, in particular epilepsy, because it got rid of the garbage. Excuse me, although at that time there wasn't a lot of garbage in our food. People didn't have GMO foods, people didn't have high processed foods. Mostly after World War I is when you started seeing all the processing come in. Anyway, um, on keto, what works for me, part of their theory, or proven fact, whatever you want to call it, but part of it is that the amount of the good fats that you can put in keeps you feeling full so you're not hungry all the time. They're very satisfying. And those include butter, heavy whipping cream instead of regular milk or half and half, or fat. Don't do fat free anything. Um, Avocados and eggs, two excellent sources of good, healthy fat content that keeps you satisfied. It also keeps you regular. So instead of taking all these pills from, over the counter pills so that you can go, start eating an avocado a day. That's going to help a whole lot. Okay, rant over on that one. It wasn't really a rant, but anyway. Okay, what I'm doing today, because I was looking at what I have in my pantry, and one of the things I didn't have any more of was canned beef. Now I have bought several cans of canned roast beef um, at Walmart. They're $3 and something, not quite 4. And it's a good size can. It's enough that I could make a pot of stew, something like that. However, I like knowing everything that's in mine and understanding what it's all about. So last week, end of last week, uh, I went and bought some beef that was on markdown at our city market, which is a part of the Kroger family, and it was about half price. So I picked up 3 packages. One was a roast, which was about an inch thick, and then some others that were center cut something or other, and they looked like little steaks. I bought 2 packages of those because they were like the roast, they were only like $6 a piece for each package. So each package with the little steaks had 4 pieces in it. No, excuse me, 2 pieces in it. And the package with the roast, of course. Today I went back because my closer grocery store, which usually has better meat because they cut it fresh, just didn't have anything I could afford. I mean, the cheapest thing in beef was a $16 tiny little roast. No can do on my Social Security income, even with the help of a SNAP card. So no, I'm not spending all my SNAP money on that. So I went back to City Market today. I did find some that were marked down, um, and I got a really nice, thick, I mean, we're talking, this thick, like about 3 to 4 inches thick roast. Now it's very, very lean. Hopefully, the way I'm cooking it and the way it'll be canned, that will help um, to make it tender. So I bought that, and then I bought 2 packages of boneless beef short ribs. They have a lot of fat on them. That doesn't bother me. That's where the flavor is. Because whatever juices these make, I will be putting some of that in the jars with the beef to can it. Some juice, some water, and can it. Now, here's the way I can, where the way I process my meat when I bring it home. I take and get a pan. Actually, I have 3 pans in the oven right now. Get a roasting pan of some sort. It can just be your 9 by 12 that's, 2 inches high. That's all I've got. And I line them with foil. You don't have to, but I do. It's easier cleanup. I spray the inside of the foil with my spray coconut oil. No problem there. My meat goes in. It's all thawed. It's, soft. And I've put that in, and then I sprinkle on um, spices, garlic, onion, a very little salt, because sometimes that can make your meat tough, and pepper. Now, the oven that I have in this apartment is not like the toaster oven that I used to have that I've done this in before. Um, at that time, it was a toaster oven, and I could cook something at 120 degrees, and I would do it overnight. The lowest I can go on this is 265. I'm hoping between that low of a temperature and pressure canning it is going to help make that meat more tender. Now, it's in the oven. It's going. I started it at about 1:30s when I got home and got everything prepared. So that's in the oven, and I'm going to let that go until about midnight. Then I'll pull it out, let it cool off for a little bit, and store it in the fridge overnight. I need to rearrange my refrigerator. I did take out a little bit of dead food this morning, so I should have room to put those pans in there, and I could stack them if need be. That's fine. I don't want to put really, really hot ones in there, but it's a low temperature, and I think it'll be okay. Um, Now, I did this before. Like I said, this has been back in 20, maybe 2015, and all that I canned has been eaten and used for sandwiches or just a piece of roast to go with the vegetables or, soups and stews. So I didn't have any beef, which is why I've been buying ready made stuff in a can that's shelf stable that has beef in it. I'm hypoglycemic. If I don't have enough protein in particular beef, because other meats are not the same amount of protein, if I don't have enough of it, I get diabetic like symptoms. I get dizzy, I get shaky, I get irritable, and that's not good. Because the only way for me to quickly get out of that is to have something really sweet. Generally, I do liquid like a soda. I like Dr. Pepper. I try not to drink too much of it, but that'll bring me up out of it, especially if um, I've gotten to the point where I was not only shaky and irritable and had a horrible headache. There was at one point I was seeing little sparkles in front of my eyes. That's not good. So I don't keep stuff with me, and I have some uh, glucose tablets as well. I actually need to get another bottle of those. They're pretty cheap, and they'll keep your blood sugar from going too low. But anyway, I need good beef type protein. Otherwise, you know, your body can only store so much of it for so long. And if you're not eating enough, it'll go lower. So, I've got the beef roast in the oven, 3 pans full, and hopefully tomorrow I will be canning it, and it's pressure canned. So it's going to be very, very similar to what you've seen me do before with pressure canning anything. But I'll kind of talk through, what I'm doing or going to be doing. It's pretty much the same process. I'm not going to make you sit and watch, the thing go for 75 minutes because that would just be boring. Um, but that's one thing I'm doing. The other thing I will be doing after I pick up some more butter, which probably will be next week. Hopefully, somebody will put butter on sale. That would be nice. Um, Even if, because I don't need to get a whole lot. Like I say, I've only got 2 pounds of butter that is unsalted. That means I've got about 18 pounds of butter that is salted. I don't mind keeping some in the freezer. You know, it's basically I need room in my freezer, and I need because I only have the part that's over the refrigerator, and most of it's in the door, and it's making the door be a little lopsided because it's heavy, even though I've got it shoved to the hinge side. Um, I just don't have any place else to stick it. I really would like to have a bigger freezer, but there is no room in this apartment to put one unless I remove the kitchen table, and I'm not about to do that. Some people I know have done that, and they just eat off a TV tray in their living area. I don't want to do that. So, although I do sit here quite often and watching a video and eat a sandwich or something, anyway, we're getting close to 20 minutes here, and I think this is long enough. I just wanted to give you a little update of what you're going to see, what I'm going to video tomorrow, and I'm not panicking. Um, but it's an unknown as to what may or may not happen. Um, and so I just encourage everybody, look and see what's in your pantry. Look and see if, or in your meds, or anything else. Don't forget about your pets. Um, it's not a bad thing to put some away extra. If nothing else, you'll save money in the long run because prices are only going to go up, they never go down. So, you're not losing money. Don't overspend if you can't afford it, but, do what you can. If it's a couple of cans a week, do a couple of cans a week of, the shelf stable foods, of, vegetables, meats, fruits, soups, whatever. I tend to like to make my own stuff, so I will buy, like the vegetables or tomatoes or fruits or, and then make my own stuff with those. In fact, all of the fruit that I bought, I made sure it was in its natural juice with no sugars added. It's healthier, it's already plenty sweet, it doesn't need more sugar. That way, if I choose to, I wanted to make a cobbler or a crumble or something, I can do that without it being loaded with sugar. No, it's not particularly keto, but sometimes you need something sweet. So there you go. Okay, we're at 22 minutes. I'm going to shut this down. Everybody have a great day. I'm still waiting for spring here. We've still got snow out there and some ice. But that's the Colorado mountains for you. So, maybe will be a video up tomorrow. I'll see. And everybody have a great day and do what you can to take care of yourself because trust me, the government's not going to.